Long division is a process that needs to be followed step by step. In this problem, the donut shop sold 1,632 donuts yesterday. The donuts were sold in boxes with 12 donuts each. Our question is, how many boxes did the donut shop sell? The first thing we want to do here is start with a reasonable estimate. So the problem I have is 1,632 donuts, and those donuts were divided into boxes with 12 donuts each. Now if I'm going to make an estimate here, I'm going to think that 1,632 is close to 1,600. And I'm going to see that 12 is close to 10. So when I do my estimate, I'll see that 1,600 divided by 10 is going to give me an answer that's close to 160. So now it's time for me to start this problem. So I'm going to write 1,632, and I'm going to divide that by 12. Now, as I said, long division is a process that needs to be done step by step. And not only that, we're going to take this problem one number at a time. So what we want to do is we're going to imagine that this is just a 1 to start this process. Now, the first thing we do in long division is we divide. We need to divide and see how many times this 1 can be divided into 12 groups. Well, we can't do that, so we're going to now look at our next number, 16. Okay? How many times can 16 be divided by 12? Well, I know that 16 can be divided by 12 one time. That leads me to my next step, which is now to multiply. I'm going to take that 1 that I found, and I'm going to multiply it. So 12 times 1 gives me 12. Oops, and I just gave you a hint about my next step there. Step number 3 is I have to subtract. Once I've done that multiplication, I need to subtract. So 16 minus 12 gives me 4. The last step I have in a division problem is I'm going to bring down my next number. Okay, let me show you what that means. So I'm going to think about this now, and I'm going to take this next number and I'm going to bring it down. So now I have 43. And it's time for me to go back up to my first step, which is divide. So how many times can 43 be divided by 12? Well, I know that 12 times 2 is 24. I know 12 times 3 is 36. And I know 12 times 4 is 48. 48 is too big. I couldn't subtract that because it's bigger than 43. So I'm going to say this will go in 3 times. So when I divide, I get 3. My next step here is to multiply. So 3 times 12 will give me 36. And my next step after that is to subtract. So I'm going to do 43 minus 36. We'll do a little regrouping here. And I get 7. And finally, step number 4 is I'm going to bring down. And I'm going to bring down this 2. And I need to now go back to the top up here and divide. How many times can 72 be divided by 12? Well, I know that 12 times 6 is 72, so it'll go in 6 times. My next step is to divide or to multiply. So 6 times 12 gives me 72. And then I subtract, and I get 0. And my next step is to bring down. But look, there's nothing else left to bring down. So this is my answer, 136. Now the question said, how many boxes of donuts did the donut shop sell? So my answer is the donut shop sold 136 boxes of donuts. Sometimes you'll be given problems that aren't word problems. For example, 1,410 divided by 15. So a reasonable estimate, 1,410 divided by 15. Again, I'm going to think of 1,410. That's close to 1,500. And I'm going to divide that by 15. And I'm going to see my answer will be close to 100. May not be exactly 100, but it'll be close to it. So now let's set up this problem. I'm going to have 1,410, and I'm going to divide that by 15. Okay, and remember, my first step is going to be to divide. And I want to take this number by number. So to help us out here, let's cover this up. Can 1 be divided by 15? No. So then I'm going to scooch to the next number. Can 14 be divided by 15? Well, not quite. It's a little too small. I need at least 15 to be able to divide it by 15. So now I'm going to go all the way to the third digit, which is 141. Can 141 be divided by 15? Yes. But if I don't know how many times, I may have to make some estimates. Okay? I know this is really close to 150, which would go in 10 times. So since I'm not sure, and I can't put a 2-digit number up here, I'm going to start off by figuring out, all right, what is 15 times 9? 15 times 9, 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 4 is 13. So 135 is very close to 141, so I'm going to say it goes in 9 times. And I'm going to put this 9 directly over that digit 1, because I'm looking at 141, so my 9 lines up right there. Now step 2, remember, is to multiply. So now I've already done the multiplication off to the side here, so I know 9 times 15 is 135. My next step is going to be to subtract. So I will subtract 141 minus 135, and I'll get 6. And my last step is to bring down. And I am going to bring down this 0. And after I bring down, it's time to go back to the top and do my division again. So after I bring down, I divide. So what I want to know is how many times can 60 be divided by 15? Well, I know that 4 times 15 will give me 60. So I know it goes in 4 times, then I multiply, then I subtract, and there's nothing left to bring down. So my answer to this problem is 94. So 1,410 divided by 15 equals 94.